back.
It's another episode.
I'm excited. I love these episodes. I could keep them going
Same
all
here.
night. All
Just
night.
go on.
A 24-hour, like the telethon. You know?
That'd be
You just dated
interesting.
yourself there.
The wedding-a-thon.
Oh my god.
Hi, Chimers.
Hi.
Hi, you like that, huh?
The
Chimers?
Chimathon. Hey, the Chimathon. I
That's
like
a
it.
good name.
I like it.
yes.
Ring your bell. You know, whenever somebody sponsors, ding, 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 ding.
I swear to you, the ladies do not have alcohol.
No, we don't. It's water.
It's
But
only water.
Yeah, it
Unless
is.
they're fooling me, it's not alcohol.
that's easy. We
They're
wouldn't do
acting
that
as if they're drinking alcohol, but they're not.
It's
No,
just water.
it smells fresh. It's
How are
water.
you ladies doing? How are you doing?
Very good. It smells fresh.
It smells fresh.
Smells fresh.
And it's water.
It is. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Last time I checked,
It's fresh water.
Wow.
it's fresh water.
This is-
There's no goldfish in here.
Man.
Freshwater fish,
Oh
you know.
god, I wouldn't be able to. Oh,
At a wedding, we'd kill it.
Wow.
We'd be the entertainment.
bye flounder.
That's it. Flounder.
Good stuff.
That would be. I'd have the clownfish. What's his name? Marlin. Just
Yes.
going around.
Marlin.
You know.
I'm missing Dory.
Dory, and they'd be like, just keep swimming, just keep swimming, just keep swimming, swimming.
God.
Yeah.
Back to Wedding Chimes with Val. This is like a hangout session.
So I'm glad that we're back
Yes.
because this is another special. Like they're all special.
This
course.
is an important one.
Yes, that's the word. This is a
Very.
vitality important. Didn't make sense at all, but I meant vital. Because this is representing you.
Yes, it's about me.
It's about you. It's about Valerie Guerrera, wedding planner, the wedding planner as well as Wedding Chimes with Val host. To give you all the nitty gritty details and all the juicy info that we all love and want to know about. And however, this episode, the shoe is on the other foot.
Yes, because I got married.
She was the one.
Yes, I was the bride. in
Here
the
comes
dress.
the bride. Well, she came already. Here
whoa.
went the bride.
Yes, that happened that
got-
night. But
Oh, Vanny!
no, I'm not saying
You're
that.
such a pig!
Holy, come on! How did it get there? You're
You!
no. I said.
Shit, I said, here went the bride.
I said she. She.
Oh my god.
She got married, and now,
Yes.
now,
I'm
as,
Now,
as a
I'm here.
wedding planner,
Yes.
right? She can now tell us the difference between being
Yes.
the planner and being the bride,
again.
and how she came to all these conclusions. I fixed it. I fixed it.
It's too late, Vanny.
I know.
It's too late. It's too late. It's too
Sorry,
late.
I'm sorry.
It's too late. It's okay, you're mad.
We need. Yes. Last I checked. Last I checked.
So yes, this is your moment. So take it away, Val. Tell us about your spectacular day and what it's
So
like.
it was amazing. I can't say it was just everything was perfect. And being a bride and being a wedding planner, like it was two different experiences, I want to say. Because I'm the one used to being behind the scene,
Yeah.
right? Running around, with everything. But I was finally able for like one day just to soak it all in.
Yeah.
And to have the experience on a different side now. Being the bride, not being the one running behind the scenes,
Okay.
Even though I knew it was happening, but I'm like, okay, you know what? I planned everything to the best that I could. Now let me just enjoy, the moment and, getting married and enjoying everything else that I planned, right?
Absolutely.
And it was eye-opening because, as a planner, I'm used to one telling the bride everything, like, okay, like feeding like little information, like, okay,
Yeah.
don't forget in 10 minutes is like, say your speech or your best man speech or whatever,
Yeah.
or whatever is happening. But this time I was able to actually enjoy and be like,
and tell your husband.
Yeah.
what he has to do.
and just enjoy the moment,
Yeah.
And even though I planned the schedule and everything, I'm like, I know it's gonna happen. So that it was more at ease for me knowing what's happening.
Yeah.
And not being like, oh no, like I knew it was gonna happen. I knew after ceremony is the flip. I knew, and I wish I was there, but it is what it is. Because I like doing the room flip, right? It's like a whole other
Another world.
Exactly. It's like, wow. It's like, okay, you see this from that, But besides what I was taking pictures, which I couldn't complain in the old port, which was really, really nice, beautiful weather.
Yeah.
But overall, I could now I know where, like when a bride is nervous, I know, or how to better direct that or to make her feel calm,
Nice.
because I was there too, right? I was in her shoes where
Yeah.
she is now, where the bride, let's say she's nervous or something. I know how to handle that better. 'Cause
Okay.
before, yes, I knew how to handle it, of course, but it was from a different point of view, right?
Yeah.
But now I was a bride, and I know how it feels to be a bride, so I could better direct my energy. If a bride's nervous or whatever, I could picture myself in that moment too, right? The excitement right before we walk down the aisle, like it's
Yeah.
real. Like it's like before I'm like, yeah, you'll be fine, but sometimes it's more than that,
Exactly.
So
it's emotional, right?
It is emotional. It is really emotional. So at the end of the day, I know where to redirect my energy on a wedding. If I see the bride's nervous or whatever's happening, I know how to be like, okay, you know what? I was there too. Whatever, like don't worry about it, even though, I can't control it, but I know how to better approach the situation.
Of course.
So to speak, because I was a bride. I know how I felt in that moment too, right? And no matter what anyone told me, I'd be like, no, I have it in my mind, right?
Yeah.
So that's why I'm really thankful that I know where to go from now with if the bride's nervous or whatever's happening,
Yeah, exactly.
So that's or even if the groom's nervous too, like I could better direct it, because before I'm like, it's okay, like, like what else?
Breathe. Yeah.
Like what else do you want me to say, right?
Yeah,
I
exactly.
never lived through that, but now that I lived through, I'm like, okay, instead of saying breathe, I could be like, do you need to take a minute outside? Do you want to go to the washroom? Do you whatever, just to get away from the situation? Like what would help you better,
Yeah, exactly.
Instead of me being like, okay, you'll be fine.
Put
Sure.
on the aisle.
Come on.
Is
Sure.
there something that you found like a major difference in terms of approach? Like, would you approach something any different now?
I want to say most things I'd probably keep the same, but just the approach how to approach delicate situations, like if it's more emotional, to give more space, not to, say, let's go on with the schedule,
Yeah.
And I'm usually good at giving space, but sometimes I felt like in the past maybe I didn't give enough space for a certain, like, emotional moment, as I'm like, okay, in 10 minutes we gotta, but now it's like, okay, you know what, let's give them more time. Let's say if it's more emotional or if the ceremony is taking longer, it's really on my control, you never know, right? So
Yeah,
now I could
exactly.
approach it with a different mindset, which I think it actually benefits me better and how I plan.
So if out of your wedding, okay, let's say morning, because now we're going to eventually move ourselves to the reception.
Yeah.
But the morning and the church, let's say.
Yeah.
The preparatory, taking your pictures with the family and the church.
Yeah.
Did you ever feel at one moment that it was, oh my God, I'm used to directing this and now.
It was a lot to just give up that.
Okay, yeah.
Because I'm like, I'm the one with I sort of memorized my schedule. Not gonna lie with you, because I'm like, I can't have my watch on me because it'll show like the mark, like two different, two different tones because it's covered. It's like a mini tan.
Yeah.
Can't have that. I can't have my phone because I have nowhere to put it. I don't have pockets in my dress, but it is what it is. And I didn't have my clipboard, right? Because I was the bride. So I memorized my schedule, and I knew key points. I'm like, okay.
A true wedding
Like
planner.
That's
roughly,
it.
I knew some key points, like the key moments of when things should happen.
Yeah.
And I know someone was gonna have a watch on them or a phone.
That is so funny.
So I'm like, I'm gonna have to ask someone what time it is at some point. And then I could play, okay, like adjustment if there's need to be any adjustment.
Okay.
So that's what I did.
Yeah, you're so funny.
And it helped because I'm the one used to being behind the scenes, right? And, I told all the vendors already, I'm like, obviously, they know I'm a planner, so they let me have that moment to feel reassured that, okay, everything is going as planned, which it was, so I can't complain.
Good.
So they understood how I felt. Like, they didn't make me feel like, well, no, you can't know anything, but it's like, but they all understood. All the vendors that we hired were great. They understood, and I think it helped them knowing that I was the planner, so they know, okay, like there'll be things done a certain way on, like what to expect from the vendors. It wouldn't be any surprises. But I did memorize my schedule to the best that I could, like certain key points.
That's great.
Yeah.
And so the church happened. So
So it was at the venue. We got married downstairs.
Nice.
So I didn't have to go far. It just the elevator down and I was there. So it was great.
Oh, good.
So like there's no need for a car, any traffic, because I was already in the hotel getting ready.
Yeah, because some
So-
people have the limousines
Exactly,
and whatnot.
I did not want that because I'm like, there's no way I'm gonna be waiting in traffic out of my control. I could leave 10 hours early and still be late with the Montreal
yeah.
traffic. I wasn't gonna even take that chance. And I told my now husband, well, you can get ready there too, because if you're stuck somewhere, you'll be late for your own wedding. Like, you know, like really like some traffic and
Yeah.
then forget it. So I'm like, we're both gonna get ready there. It'll be easier. There's no need for then a limo because we want to take pictures anyways around the old port. So it saved us there. Like it saved us the traffic, the traveling, you know, the distance.
Yeah.
It all more logistically it went smoother because we didn't have to wait on a limo. We didn't have
Yeah,
to wait to drop us off.
exactly.
We didn't have to wait in a lineup to take pictures at a certain location, right?
It's true.
So we took
yeah.
advantage of the old port, which worked out great.
Nice.
So logistically, all in one spot was very beneficial.
Nice.
Instead of saying, well, no, we want to go. No, we didn't. We stayed there. We're like, you know, it is beautiful as it is, the old port.
Yeah,
Our
exactly.
photographer knew what she was doing. She knew where to go, and we just followed her, and that was it.
Wow.
So that's why it was easier to get around
Yeah.
because we're all in the same location. So it actually saved time in the
Nice.
timeline, which is great. Because if you get married at another location, you have to drive. You have no choice. If it's Uber, whatever form you decide to go with, you still have to drive. And it could be a lot with Montreal. No matter what time of year you're getting married, there's always gonna be traffic, always construction, always something delaying. So I'm like, I didn't want that on my wedding day.
For sure.
I didn't.
And
yeah.
you were talking about wedding. No, you in the courtyard.
So courtyard pictures, yes.
Yeah.
Courtyard pictures was like with family, bridesmaids, groomsmen, all of us. And then what we did so they could enjoy cocktail or family and bridesmaids is after that, we told them you don't have to stay with us, you could go enjoy cocktail hour.
Yeah.
So we didn't keep them like the whole time.
Like there.
Because usually what some couples do, they're like, well, no, we want them just in case. But we did a shot list, and I always tell my couples to have a shot list for the photographer.
Yeah.
So it's like one by like go.
Yeah.
So if you know they're not needed, your let's say wedding party, they could go eat.
Okay.
And then just Kevin and I, we did couple pictures near the BMO bank, like that
Yeah,
door.
it's a nice bank.
And that's where we walked to, and that was it. Because we didn't want to walk far either, because then it's a long way back up.
Yeah.
Especially with the dress. Even though my shoes were comfy, just the dress was a lot, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't want to take a chance with the dress. So that's why we're like, you know what, we'll stick around there, and it was more than enough.
Yeah, it gets heavy with the dress, eh?
Oh yeah, it's a lot
Crinoline
it's a
and the
lot
layers
of,
and
I mean,
oh.
it was pretty. Once I got the hang of it, it was okay. But I didn't want to dirty it by accident, you know. Even though,
That's what happened with
it did
mine.
actually. I looked at the dress after; it wasn't that bad. Like
Mine was the floor, where it drags.
Yeah,
basically.
it was, but nothing else. But
Yeah.
everything else was
Yeah.
intact. So I'm like,
Yeah.
not too bad. But that's why I always recommend my couples to have a shot list with the photographer,
Mm-hmm.
and I even help them with that. So you know if they're not needed, the bridesmaids or groomsmen, so they can go eat after.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
they're not waiting around for you. You know.
Yeah.
So it's easier that way. So they were happy. They got to leave early. They stayed for like the
Nice.
family pictures, the group pictures, and even that morning of, I know with my husband, they took the groomsmen and all them
Yeah.
and the bridesmaids we took already. So it's just extra, and then that was it.
Oh, that's
And then they
fantastic.
got to enjoy. Because I find something with the wedding party being there, they intervene with the pictures.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, no, take that. So that's why we wanted to avoid any interruptions. So it
That's
worked.
smart.
And I told them ahead of time, like, look, girls, we're gonna go there, and then you could go eat. Okay, they were happy.
Nice.
They were happy. They got to enjoy cocktail hour too, so they could mingle, talk, whatever, enjoy, cocktail hour, which many wedding parties don't. So it all depends on what the couple prefers
Yeah.
for pictures, but it plays a big part in your wedding day.
Yeah.
So even in the schedule, I always have buffer for that, but sometimes there's not enough buffer because if there's people that intervene and this, oh, I want one more picture.
Yeah.
And you have to find a photographer that's tough enough to say, no, the bride and groom wanted this after, we'll.
Exactly.
Like, just in a nice way, of course, to be like, hey, you know what, guys, we'll do the bride and groom what they want, and then we'll take after inside. And
Yep,
that's it.
exactly, exactly.
And sometimes I do go on the picture location too, if it's not far from the venue with my client, with my couple, because you never know. But if I do, not. But usually the photographer takes care of that, and that's what our photographer did. She was the one leading the photo session, which is what a photographer is supposed to do.
Exactly.
And-
I have a crazy question.
Yes.
So as a planner,
Yes.
what's your favorite part of the day? And as a bride, what's your favorite part of the day?
So for me, my favorite part as a planner is the flip of the room.
Yeah.
Because like you see, because ceremony, and let's say if the ceremony and reception are in the same room, it's two different atmospheres, right? One's more like the ceremony, and one's like for the party after and like for the reception. And I love to see, because that's where everything comes into place.
Yeah.
Everything we planned, it's there in the room, like the thank you notes, the favors, the decorations, everything is on the tables, right?
I love it.
So all the little details, because ceremony, you really can't do much for a ceremony, because then if you're done in an hour, just all that goes in some cases for nothing, right? Depends. But I like to see the flip, because as a planner, I'm like, excellent. I see everything.
I love it.
You see everything come to life, basically, right? For you've been planning for the past year or even more, right? But as a bride, I must say my favorite part of the day was, well, I was the first dance. It was really nice, because I always see the first dance, like,
it's a different perspective.
It's
you're there, you're involved.
And also, it was funny, I was walking down the aisle, I'm like, okay, candle good, because there's candles lining up. I'm like, candles are good, okay, we're good. So mentally, I'm like, good, okay, good, the arc is there, good, okay, we're good. So in my mind,
that is so funny. Oh my God.
Because I'm like, okay, and I knew they set up half the room there and like behind the wall there, so I knew it was half done. So I'm like, okay, we're good. But I remember walking down, I'm like, okay, candle, we're good. Every second.
Oh my
I'm
God,
like,
is that part of the memorized schedule?
Yeah. I'm like, okay, because I told them how, you have the carpet and then candle, and then the arc behind.
Oh,
so I remember,
nice. So everything was strategic.
And then the arc would use behind the sweetheart table, which we did, because to break up with the pink and gold, just something more neutral, because it was on the wall, right? So
you could tell you're a wedding planner.
Like, just to break that up. So, and then what we did actually too for the sweetheart tables, I used my bouquet and the bridesmaids bouquet as flowers.
Nice.
Just to keep it, because I find some weddings that I've planned or what I've seen, there's a lot on the table. It could be a danger hazard if you're not careful.
Yeah.
Because, so that's why I want something just on the top, not blocking anyone, because I didn't want anything to block my view of the guests or to see, what's going, like, just to enjoy the moment. So I just had something very, very simple.
Very nice.
Because then all the tables were already fully decorated with the tulips in the middle there, like the charger plates. It was a lot. It was already things on it, you know. So I didn't want anything to take away from the charger plates too or anything. So that's why I'm like, I'd rather just have very simple, not even noticeable on purpose.
Yeah.
That
Very
was
nice.
because I had the big arc behind me, so I'm like, what else more do I need,
Yeah, exactly.
Like, and the room, it's not the biggest room, it's still, but I didn't want it to feel like it was packed. I want to feel like it was like still empty,
Yeah. Oh, nice.
What's one piece of advice you would give a wedding planner now that you've been married? Like a wedding planner that never did it.
Oh.
What's one piece of advice that you would say, hey, being on the other side,
I want to say, as planners, we follow the schedule to the best that we can. It's like our holy grail for the day. It's like I do not let go of my clipboard. Like that clipboard's with me in the washroom, is with me everywhere. I'm serious. Like it follows me everywhere. But as a bride, I want to say if it's like an emotional moment or something's going on, just give more space.
Yeah.
Like just give the time. It's not going to affect the schedule. You'll catch up with it after.
Yeah.
You'll pass more canapes maybe, or you'll have the DJ or band play more music just to catch up. And in the meantime, it doesn't affect your work because the room setup's already done.
Yeah.
Everything's done. So if the bride's having a moment, or the groom or a family member, because it could be emotional, don't cut into that time that much.
Yeah.
Because it won't affect the schedule. And I know in the past maybe I was more on the schedule, which is totally normal.
Exactly.
I'll probably still do the same, but now I'm gonna be like, let's give him more time. It's not gonna affect anyone.
Yeah.
I think you're, from my experience, it needs to be a hybrid. I think.
Yeah.
There are certain things that are important.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you need, and part of the wedding planner's job, I feel, is that
to be on schedule.
Yeah.
to be on schedule, but not for everything.
That's what I'm saying.
So the meal, the main course.
You have to give a bit of leeway.
Yeah.
If but you can't give too much.
'Cause
Like
then
if the
they'll
main
back
course
up
comes out
every-
at 10 o'clock, it's too late.
People
Yes.
are gonna be leaving maybe.
At 10:30, it's.
But
For the ground
right?
the
So
elderly
you gotta
and
push the
old.
kitchen
I
to
do
say.
agree.
"Hey."
Some things like after the ceremony, if they're emotional, give them their space a bit more.
Yeah.
It's not gonna affect the pictures. Like you could still kill time for cocktail hour. You could still make it work, you
Yeah.
know? But the food, I agree, you can't slack on the food. Like, you
Yeah.
cannot, because everyone's hungry. It's a hot day, dehydrated.
Yeah,
People,
for
let's
sure.
say, didn't eat and they're drinking already. You know, the balance of alcohol and food, nothing's absorbed.
Oh, but it also takes everything out of whack, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it pushes everything.
If part of your schedule you were doing the parents' dance like right before the main
Yeah.
course, but now the main course is at 11, it's
so
too
you
late. So now
can't-
your schedule
Yeah,
gets all
so I
because
agree.
you
It's
know,
a good mix, but in the past, maybe I was too much after the ceremony. But in reality, now I see from a bride point of view, you know, just give it a bit more time.
Of course,
And then,
it makes
and
So
then,
is there a point in the night where you as a bride you
Yeah,
said,
right.
oh my god, it's time to do this, and you kind of
She memorized her schedule.
yeah,
Fuck, you know what? I wish I could just fucking
Yeah.
eat this
Eat.
granita and
Yeah.
fucking stick my face in it for half an hour.
I
and
wish I wasn't, because I told myself, like, if anything happens, I have to know what's going on too. Like, I'm the one that gave the schedule, the floor plan, it was me, right? So I can't just ignore what happened. Like, I know,
Yeah, yeah.
like, I know what's going on in the kitchen. I know someone's complaining to someone for whatever reason or whatever. I know, you know, when it's cocktails, I know what's going on. I know they're counting all the trays going on, like, okay, this is going to be good for another, you know.
Yeah.
Like, I know all this going on. So while I was taking the pictures, I'm like, okay, they should be, you know, here now. When we get back, they should be doing this now.
Yeah.
You know, so if anything were to happen, I could have not jumped in, but just tuned in and be like, hey, you know, why aren't we here yet? You know,
Yeah,
why are
exactly.
we still
Take out the
here?
clipboard from under the gown.
It was in my,
See?
it was under my chair the whole time. It was there, trust me, it was there.
But if there is one thing about your wedding day that you could have said, well, maybe I should have done this, or was it completely perfect exactly the way
I
you wanted
must
it?
say the only thing was I wished that maybe not ceremony, because I wanted the ceremony to be more simple, because it was like a 30-minute ceremony.
Yeah.
But maybe I should have added just maybe some flowers in the front, because I thought that I wouldn't need them. But then now I look back, I'm like, well, my dress would have covered them. So even if I wanted to do something, my dress would be too big, then you wouldn't see anything.
Yeah.
And that was, I mean, decor. I knew what I was doing. I had an idea. You know, venue I picked for that reason because I liked the energy. I think overall everything I might be biased, but everything overall was pretty good.
Good.
It's up there in my top weddings, you know. And
My wedding is my top wedding.
it's up there, you know. And overall
Good.
look, because I knew my ceremony wasn't gonna be like 2 hours. It was gonna
Oh,
be.
you'd have
it
to
was.
kill me
It
for
was
that.
gonna be Where's
the food?
My ceremony was like 35 minutes, right?
Oh,
It's not-
nice. Okay.
So I'm like, why would I spend so much money if I can't reuse it after? Because the themes changed, right? The look went from more elegant to like more bold, like more colors. So I'm like, if I get, let's say, white or cream flowers for ceremony, I can't reuse them after.
You're right.
Because
yeah.
it's a whole other flip. And I wanted to do that on purpose because I wanted to wow my guests after, like, you know, be like it's a change of scenery, not
Yeah.
just, you know, not because ceremony, I wanted nothing to take away from the moment and get distracted with whatever.
Yeah.
So that's why I tried to repurpose everything. So the candles I brought, we used on the tables after.
Nice.
You know, that was, you know, to give some atmosphere.
Yeah.
And the art behind my table, like behind the ceremony, used behind my sweetheart table. So nothing really went to waste. And the carpet, well, they rolled it up and put it on the side there because those are rental. But besides that, everything was pretty much reused. And I always tell my couples, I'm like, if you're having a share ceremony, don't spend that much because it's gonna go to waste after. And
Yeah.
if it doesn't match your decor, well, there we go. You know,
Yeah.
teach their own. But I always tell my couples, remember, if your ceremony is an hour, okay, maybe add a bit more because people get bored looking at the same things.
Yeah.
But for an hour, like under 35 minutes, you don't need to go crazy. You know, you really don't, because you want the focus to be on the reception, because you want to wow your guests when they walk in.
Yeah.
Like it's the presentation, it's everything leading up, because you know you have a theme you're following through, right?
Yeah.
So you know, yes, originally for my ceremony, I'm like, oh, I could do pink, but I'm like, nah, I don't want to take away from me walking down too, right?
Exactly.
So because it's a moment and everyone's there for that, right? So that's why I'm like, I'd rather save that for the reception.
Oh, that's very interesting. And so now it leads us to your first dance.
Yes.
Okay, so
Are you gonna use the same song?
No, I picked
No,
a
you
diff-
picked another
yeah,
song?
Yeah.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
your song. No one fucking else is allowed to use that song.
No
I'm
one
kidding.
can use my song. I'm sorry.
It's my song.
It's my song now. So for, I guess, this week's song,
Song of the week.
Week?
Yeah, Val's
Yeah.
first dance we call it.
yes, the song, it's by Chris Brown is With You by Chris Brown. It's like early 2000s.
Oh
My
I
God.
know the,
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
it's a
Early,
great- it's
like-
like an R&B-ish
Yeah.
kind of
And I think they're
a
making
grinding song. isn't
Yeah,
it? Is it? Yeah.
I don't know.
What do you come up with, the Vanny?
I don't know. It's just a song that I.
He's thinking about Big Mac.
Makes you want to grind.
He makes you thinking about Big Mac and horseback riding.
Oh my god. But yeah, and people used it before. Like
Yeah.
I went on TikTok again, and then I saw.
You're like a TikToker.
I'm like, I seen a lot of people dance to that. I'm like, okay, so it's maybe coming back. All these 2000 songs are making a comeback.
It doesn't seem that far off, though, eh? But technically it is.
Because I
like
find
20 years ago.
I find like the 2000 songs, like especially like my generation, you know, that game right now, we're like, oh, like throwbacks, you know. So
They call them,
so it's like
imagine our generation. Why you?
like
A throwback.
you know, like a throwback song.
It's not a
So,
throwback. That's like a fucking
Like I know,
kickback.
I know.
Hi-yo.
I know for a fact, like I think they are making a comeback, the 2000s, early 2000s songs.
You know, everything past 1999 is all one. Anything 2000 and up, there's no.
Oh, well,
there's-
for
it's
me,
all
the-
2000s are fucking.
For
whatever.
me, it's like that. It's like a whole like, you know,
I know. Like the guys
it's like
that
a
work
whole
with, they're,
like thing.
they're in your age bracket, and they
Yeah.
talk about, oh, that was in the 2014s. I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, anything after 1999 is 2000.
Yeah,
Everything
yeah,
is
yeah.
Like for
2000.
me, like it was like I don't know. I just like this song. It's
Once
a nice song.
Y2K happened, it's all.
Oh my God. Well, we were in the 2000s. We were saying, oh, remember 90s, 80s. We were
Okay, so
talking
there
about
you go.
Like I can
Well,
tell
I
you,
That was our throwback.
70s,
I-
80s,
I
90s,
was
no
born,
problem.
I was born in '95,
Jesus Christ.
so like I'm a baby compared to you guys. So anyone in my
I was already
Brackets?
graduated at that point.
oh my god.
I didn't. Not yet. You graduated before me.
I graduated in 93.
Oh, no.
I
Oh.
graduated in
then-
93.
Okay, no, then it was, yeah, before me.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm younger.
I'm the oldest fucker.
But that's why like when I was looking for songs, I'm like, what's some songs that could be good for like, you know, and I, you know, variety just to change it up, you know.
Throwbacks are always good.
Yeah,
Fine.
and I don't hear many of them, but I hope I know Colt, our first dance song Yellow was like 2000s at some, I think. I could be wrong.
To me, a throwback would be Boys to Men.
Okay, that's
my
like
God.
really, that's like, you're really going back. Like, really,
Backstreet Boys or
That's-
New Kids on the Block.
yes,
In
that,
sync.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
they were good.
throwback. That is like really, like you're there.
Wow.
You're there.
To
You're
me, it was
there.
like just
Yesterday.
Yeah, it was yesterday.
You're there.
Like
you're,
Duran. We were
Oh,
like,
shit,
you
that's-
remember that? Yeah, Duran, Wham.
Do you have now being the bride and the planner? What is your thoughts of
The soiree.
the day?
That's wrong.
The soiree.
So I have, don't be afraid to assign tasks to your close family or friends for your wedding day so you don't have to stress about the small stuff.
No, I would be afraid to assign any
And
task to my
this, for me, this one, I have to say, goes both ways. Either A, you don't, like, I say to do it if you could trust them,
mom. Yeah.
meaning, like, if you tell them go to the reception and give the coordinator, like, like, let's say the decorations or whatever, to tell them where to put it. Like, you have to trust them to do it for your vision.
Yeah.
But you don't tell them the day of the wedding. You tell them like 2 months in advance so you could like say, okay, don't forget, this is how, you know, make
Yeah.
sure. Or you don't do it and you just have the venue, you know, or a planner take care
You
of it.
give your
Yeah.
vision directly to
Yeah.
them, not
Exactly.
have a
So
plan.
it could go both ways. I mean, I had,
But I think you need help. It's a good. I think it's good
I
advice. to
think
give.
couples that let's say don't have a planner, okay, you could delegate. But if you have a planner, a planner's there for that. So
Yeah.
but even as a planner, I had some of my couples in the past, they had a family member, let's say, pick up the flowers because it was a family friend that made the flowers. So I knew where to put it, but they brought it for me, right?
Yeah.
For example, and they're like, hey, don't forget. I'm like, yeah, sure, no problem, cool. Mother, you know, they bring it. Very nice. You know, I had some couples have amazing family and friends to bring stuff for them on their behalf. So if you trust them, I say go for it. But if not, get a planner, avoid all that.
Yeah.
Avoid all that stress, because then you'll be more stressed too.
Yeah.
And if you're like a type A bride, which I think I don't know what I was, but it wasn't.
A+.
It was up there. But definitely, if you're type A bride, like, you know, you have to have some sort of control, and you won't be able to like just delegate. So I'd say either A, have your venue like manager, like if they're like to tell them exactly what you wanted, to send you pictures,
Yeah.
like screenshots of what's happening, or you schedule time to go before, which could happen.
Yeah.
It could work. Or you have a planner that you trust 100%.
Yeah.
That's like your right hand, basically. And
Okay.
that's going to FaceTime you saying, hey, this is how it is. It depends on what type of bride you are. Because every bride that I worked with are all very different. Some, they're like, whatever you think is best. But I'm like, but it's your wedding, not mine. But
exactly.
some gave me guidelines and I'm like, okay, I'm going to follow them to a T, which I did, no problem. So you have to know what type of bride you are from the beginning, and if you feel comfortable to delegate or hire a planner or whatever, or trust your venue to give you pictures throughout the day, you know, or whatever. Because if you are the type of bride that you need to know what's happening, which most brides do, but some more than others, then you're going to be stressing out, and you don't want that. So you have to know from the get-go what makes you feel comfortable.
Yeah, I totally agree.
What's your
my
thought,
advice.
Lisa, to that?
Yeah, I totally agree. I think you have to be comfortable with your day, and you have to know how you want things to unfold. And if you see that you don't have a chance to do it, because chances are you won't.
I mean,
right?
just circumstances. Like for me, I sort of, another thing I did was I sort of worked around the getting ready part, and I knew when I was going. So I went downstairs, looked at everything. Like I had the luxury to do that.
Yeah.
Because I knew when they're setting up. I knew when I was doing hair and makeup. I knew it wouldn't cut into my time. So I'm like, okay, let me go in and out a bit until the tables were set. Everything else I knew would be fine. But I wanted to make sure everything looked as I imagined. So once I okayed it, I'm like, okay, I'm going to go back up now and that's it.
Very nice.
So I had the privilege to do that.
Yeah, sometimes I think when you're overwhelmed with that, it's a crazy day.
Yeah.
You have people around you,
Yeah,
activity,
exactly,
and you want to get dressed, and you have to look, but you have to take care of the bridal party, and you know everybody. Should we have food out, and who's coming in, who's going out?
But
did the limos arrive? Where's the photographer?
And that's
so
why,
that's what
and
it
that's
is.
one thing is I didn't want too many moving parts like limos or whatever. I want everyone to get right there in the place, like upstairs in the room.
Yeah.
Everyone's in one place, and I know that.
Yeah.
And for me, like every wedding is very different, but for me it worked out fine. And I already told my bridesmaids, okay, here's the schedule for hair and makeup. Be here at 8.
Yeah.
We're gonna start right away.
Yeah.
They were there early.
Yeah.
Great. So we started right away.
Good.
So when it was my turn, I had the time to enjoy.
Yeah.
And I had time before to go check downstairs.
Yeah.
And that was it.
And that's good.
So, and I made sure I had the conference room ready upstairs, so I didn't have to go far. I wasn't like in another hotel or something, you know, it was in the same, all one location.
Very nice.
So in
that's
a way,
great.
if you have a wedding in one place, you're lucky because you could go down or whatever to check, whatever the case might be.
Well, that's it. I mean, it's all your comfort level. If you want to be where your venue is, there is nothing wrong with that.
Fine.
My cousin did it when she got married at Niagara on the Lake.
Yeah.
And they got married in the venue.
Yeah.
And they had, it was sort of like a brunch lunch wedding.
Okay.
It was very different,
Yeah.
but it was beautiful
course,
nonetheless.
yeah.
They got married. I guess they had like a little reception area that they had turned into a chapel of sorts. And then we all went upstairs and we congregated into the reception area.
Yeah.
The dance floor was there.
Of
So
course.
I mean, it really, it is convenient in
It's
the end.
what you're comfort, like you said, it's what you feel comfortable doing.
Yeah.
Like if you're the bride that you're like, I don't care what happens, I want to have a good time.
Yeah.
Fine.
Yeah.
But you agreed to that.
Yeah.
But
agree.
if you're the type that's like, I don't know, well, you have to see where you're comfortable at. And as a planner, I'm there to guide you in that too, saying, hey, if you feel comfortable to do this on the wedding day, I don't mind, but tell me ahead of time, because when we're setting up, I don't have time, you know, like if this is the plan to set up, don't tell me I want to come, because then I'll be like, hold up a second.
Yeah.
You know, wait up, you know? Because when you walk in, if you're set up, you have the crew setting up, you have the band, you have this, it looks like a complete disaster.
Yeah.
Like our tornado just passed by, seriously, because this is out, that's out, the band's doing sound check, the DJ's doing sound check, that's being set up, the florist is cutting the flowers to make them fit, you know? So there's a lot going on, so when you see it, you're like, whoa.
Oh my God, am I getting married here?
You know, it's like,
Yeah.
what happened? But that's why if I know a bride's coming, I'm like, okay, let me at least have a few tables done.
Yeah.
That to give her the idea of what's gonna look like.
Okay, that's
So
good.
that's what I always make sure. But she's like, I don't care. I'm like, okay, I have time.
I get what it looks like.
Like, you're good.
And my thought is to delegate the best man to make sure that the bar is pouring Hendrix all the time.
Oh my God.
And that I have one of those gins in my hand at all times. So when it's running out, his job is to make sure
A refill.
That they
he's
refill.
got 2 more sips, and I gotta make sure he's got another one. So the refill is done before.
A refill.
Nice.
It's
Fun.
very
Nice.
important.
And even it doesn't only come down to bridal party. It could be the groomsmen too. You know,
You fucking better
To help.
make sure I have my drinks.
on tap.
On top, that's it.
But-
IV. Where's the IV? Straw.
But it could be delegated to anyone that you trust. That's the main, I think, key.
Absolutely, and
I
it
think
does
that
help
makes
the
sense.
day out.
It does. It does. Well, I think you had a beautiful wedding.
Yes, it was.
The
really
pictures
good.
were stunning.
Yeah,
Thank
they were
you.
beautiful.
Beautiful.
So, I mean, congrats again to
Thank
a
you.
well, organized wedding
Yes, it
with the
was.
clipboard under the chair.
I didn't tell anyone. I put it there when they were setting up. I'm like, Helene, put it there, so like I don't forget it in my room,
Oh
right?
my God, you're
Do
funny.
we attempt to have your husband come on? Do we
I
attempt
could
to-
ask him.
Hey,
Yeah,
all
we
right.
can ask him.
I could ask him. I could see his comfort level.
There you
What's
go.
it like being married to a planner?
Yeah.
Oh, he'll have a lot to say about that.
There you go.
Really?
Oh,
Oh,
All the stories I told him. Oh my God, this guy.
That's awesome.
that's great. Well, thank you guys so
Thank
much
you
for
for
tuning
chiming
in.
in.
Tuning in. I said tuning, you said chiming. I'm the past tense of chiming.
The past time.
I'm the past tense
I love
version, yeah,
that.
because I'm older. Old, like we the throwback was
Your
not a
time
throwback.
passed. Your time
It
passed.
wasn't a throwback. It's
Pat-
like the Jurassic era. I just like am in the middle of like the centennial Jurassic and the fossilized. I don't know what the hell this crustacean is. That's the era. So guys, thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
chiming.
For chiming in.
Yes, and thank you, Val,
Of
for
course.
being the amazing planner you are and
My
bride
pleasure.
and person. Vani,
you.
thank you for being the perfect person to
Yes.
Fucking
chime
right.
in.
Chime in
right,
and
man.
to put up
Fucking
with
A.
us.
And then to put up with us. Yeah, he has no choice because
Yeah.
Because he has no choice.
you have to get him in line at the beginning.
Yeah, right.
And
that's
there
it.
you go.
That's it.
Thanks so much,
Thank
everybody.
you, everyone. For,
See you next time.
yes. Bye.
Bye.